Jake Sullivan walked into the big meeting room on the space station. His hands shook a little as he carried his datapad. Today was important. Earth was trying to join the big group of alien planets called the Galactic Federation. He had to show them Earth's animals to prove humans knew about dangerous creatures. The room was huge and full of strange beings. Some looked like walking crystals. Others were big and covered in thick skin. A few floated in the air without touching the ground. All of them were much bigger and scarier than any human. Jake pressed. A button and pictures of Earth animals appeared in the air above the table. The first picture showed a lion with its mouth open and teeth showing. "This is one of our strongest hunters," Jake said in a clear voice. The crystal alien made a sound like breaking glass. She was laughing. "You call this small furry thing dangerous? It has tiny teeth and weak claws. Our babies are scarier than this creature." More aliens started making noise. Some were laughing. Others were talking to each other about how weak Earth animals looked. Jake felt his face get hot with shame, but he kept going. He showed them pictures of tigers with orange and black stripes. The aliens laughed harder. He showed them brown bears standing tall on their back legs. The floating aliens made musical sounds that clearly meant they thought it was funny. Lisa Martinez sat next to Jake. She was Earth's best animal scientist. Her job was to help explain about Earth's creatures. She watched the aliens laugh and felt angry, but she kept her face calm. "Are these really the most dangerous animals on your planet?" asked a huge alien that looked like a walking mountain. His voice was so deep it made the floor shake. "On my world, our smallest hunters could eat 10 of these Earth beasts for breakfast." Jake clicked to show pictures of wolves running in a pack. The aliens made more laughing sounds. "Interesting," said an alien whose body was made of metal and wires. "These animals hunt in groups because they are too weak to hunt alone. Very sad." Another alien that looked like it was made of flowing water spoke in a voice like wind. "Perhaps Earth's gentle animals explain why humans are so peaceful and weak. You had no real dangers to make you strong." Those words hurt Jake more than the laughing. Earth had asked to join the Federation, but everyone knew the aliens thought humans were not very strong or smart. Earth's weapons were simple compared to alien technology. Earth's spaceships were small and slow compared to alien warships. Jake showed pictures of elephants walking across African plains. The aliens thought elephants were cute like pets. He showed gorillas beating their chests in the jungle. The aliens said gorillas looked friendly and harmless. Every picture made the aliens laugh more. They started talking to each other instead of listening to Jake. "Look how small their teeth are," said one alien. "Those claws could not cut through paper," said another. "I bet a human child could fight off these animals," laughed a third. Lisa Martinez watched Jake's hands shake as he tried to continue the presentation. She knew something the aliens did not know. Earth had rules about what animals to show other planets when meeting them for the first time. They were only allowed to show land animals. They could not show what lived in Earth's oceans, but the aliens did not know this rule existed. Jake finished his presentation with pictures of pandas eating bamboo and deer running through forests. By now, most of the aliens were not even paying attention. They were busy talking about their own planet's scary creatures. "On my world, we have hunters with acid for blood," bragged one alien. "Our predators can eat through solid metal," said another. "The weakest creature on our planet could destroy an entire Earth city," laughed a third. When Jake turned off the pictures, the crystal alien stood up. She was clearly the most important alien in the room. "Thank you for this educational presentation," she said. Jake could hear that she was trying not to laugh. "Your planet seems very peaceful. That must be why your people are so gentle and your technology is so simple." Jake wanted to say something back, but he knew he had to be polite. Earth needed the Federation's help and protection. He could not make them angry. "We hope Earth can contribute to the Federation in our own way," Jake said carefully. "I am sure you will find some way to help," the crystal alien replied. "Perhaps you can provide food or raw materials while the stronger species handle dangerous work." After the meeting ended, Jake and Lisa walked back to their small room on the space station. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Finally, Lisa broke the silence. "They think we are weaklings," she said quietly. "Can you blame them?" Jake replied. Compared to the monsters on their worlds, Earth animals do look harmless. Lisa opened her datapad and looked at files marked with red warnings. These files contained information about Earth's ocean creatures, information that Federation rules said they could not share yet. If only they knew, Lisa whispered. Knew what? Jake, we only showed them land animals. We never told them that most of Earth is covered by water. We never mentioned what lives in that water. Jake looked confused. So? Lisa turned her datapad toward him. On the screen was a picture of a great white shark jumping out of the water with its mouth full of sharp teeth. Every human child knows about sharks, Lisa said. Every human child learns that the most dangerous predators attack from below, where you cannot see them coming. Jake stared at the picture. Slowly he began to understand. The aliens evolved on land, he said. They think in terms of land predators. They have no idea what ocean hunting looks like. Exactly, Lisa replied. They think our restraint is weakness. They think we are gentle because we do not brag about our most dangerous creatures. But we cannot tell them about ocean life yet. Federation rules. I know, Lisa said with a small smile. But those rules will not last forever. And when the time comes to show them what really lives on Earth, they are going to get a very big surprise. Outside their window, space stretched out forever, full of stars and alien worlds. The Federation thought they knew everything about the small blue planet called Earth. They thought humans were weak and peaceful because Earth's land animals were gentle compared to alien monsters. They had no idea that 70% of Earth was covered by water. They had no idea what kinds of creatures humans had learned to fear and respect in those deep, dark waters. They had no idea that every human knew the most important rule of survival. Watch out for attacks from below. The aliens laughed at lions and tigers and bears. They thought these land creatures proved that Earth was a safe, gentle world full of harmless animals. Soon, they would learn that Earth's most dangerous predators had never lived on land at all. And when that day came, the galaxy would finally understand that human restraint was not weakness. It was wisdom learned from swimming with sharks. 3 months had passed since Jake Sullivan showed Earth animals to the Alien Council. During that time, bad news kept coming from the outer edge of space. A group of very mean aliens called the Void Hunters had started attacking peaceful planets. They were stealing things and hurting people. Tony Rodriguez was the top military leader for all of Earth's spaceships. He sat in his office reading reports about the attacks. The news got worse every day. The Void Hunters had big, scary warships, and they were not afraid to fight anyone. Amy Foster knocked on his office door and walked in. She was a young officer who helped Tony keep track of all the military news. Sir, the Federation Council is asking all member planets to send warships to fight the Void Hunters, she said, holding a datapad. Tony looked at the list of ships being sent by other planets. The rock-like Corvallan aliens were sending huge battleships as big as cities. The robot-like Zephyrian aliens were sending their entire 7th Battle Wing, which had over 50 advanced warships. What about us? Tony asked, though he already knew the answer would not be good. The Federation wants us to carry supplies and food to the real fighting ships, Amy said quietly. They do not think our ships are strong enough for actual combat. Tony felt angry but not surprised. Ever since the embarrassing animal presentation, the aliens treated humans like children. They acted like Earth people were too weak and gentle to be real soldiers. Ben Hayes walked into the office. He was the captain of one of Earth's best spaceships, the Meridian. He looked frustrated. Admiral Rodriguez, I just got our orders. Ben said. We are supposed to carry food and spare parts while everyone else gets to fight. I know it is frustrating, Tony replied. But maybe it is better this way. We have seen how these aliens fight. It is all about having the biggest guns and the thickest armor. Susan Turner entered the room next. She was the captain of another Earth ship called the Horizon. She had been pacing around the space station all morning because she was so angry. They are treating us like we are only good for carrying groceries while they handle the real war, she said. Kyle Warner came in last. He was captain of the Nautilus, Earth's newest ship. He was usually calm, but today he looked worried. Maybe the aliens are right. he said. "I have been reading reports about Void Hunter tactics. Their ships are massive and heavily armed. They attack in large groups and overwhelm their enemies with pure firepower." "That does sound scary," Ben agreed. Then Lisa Martinez walked into the crowded office. She was carrying a locked datapad that required special permission to open. Everyone looked at her with curiosity. "I have been studying the Void Hunter attack patterns," she said. "Their ships are impressive, but their fighting methods are very simple." "What do you mean?" Tony asked. "They only know how to fight on the surface," Lisa explained. "All their battles happen ship to ship, out in open space where everyone can see each other. They board enemy ships and fight hand to hand. They have never learned to hide or attack by surprise." Ben leaned forward in his chair. "Are you suggesting what I think you are suggesting?" Lisa smiled in a way that reminded everyone of a predator showing its teeth. "The Federation rules still say we cannot tell other planets about Earth's ocean animals, but those rules do not say anything about ocean fighting methods." Tony felt a familiar feeling in his stomach. It was the same feeling he used to get when he served on submarines in Earth's Pacific Ocean, back before humans went to space. The feeling of being a hunter hidden in the deep water, waiting for the right moment to strike. "The Void Hunters now control 17 star systems," Amy reported, reading from her datapad. "Their ships move in hunting groups, surrounding single targets and destroying them with overwhelming force." "Like wolves," Susan observed. "No," Lisa corrected. "Like land predators. They have never fought anything that attacks from underneath." Lisa opened her secure datapad and showed them classified information about Earth's submarine warfare. Pictures of sleek dark submarines moving silently through deep ocean water. Videos of torpedoes striking enemy ships from below, where no one expected an attack. "Every human child learns that sharks attack from below," Lisa continued. "We have been practicing underwater warfare for over 100 years. We know how to move silently, strike without warning, and disappear before the enemy knows what happened." Tony looked around the room at his captains. All of them had served on Earth's submarines before joining the space fleet. They all understood warfare in 3 dimensions, not just the simple surface fighting that land-based aliens knew. "The Federation Council approved our request to use specialized reconnaissance ships," Tony announced. "They think we are just going to scout and gather information." "Reconnaissance," Ben repeated with a slight smile. "Just like the old submarine missions." "Exactly," Susan added. "Silent running, deep space movement, intelligence gathering only." "Of course," Kyle said, and everyone could hear the predator in his voice. "Just like our training exercises in the deepest parts of Earth's oceans." Lisa activated her secure communication system to contact Earth's military headquarters. "Project Deep Hunt is approved for implementation. All units are cleared for deployment." The next day, Admiral Rodriguez sent Earth's revised battle plan to the Federation Council. Instead of the expected cargo ships, Earth requested permission to send their specialized reconnaissance vessels to work independently in enemy territory. The Alien Council approved the request without even reading it carefully. After all, what possible harm could Earth's weak, peaceful humans accomplish that the great alien military powers could not do better? The Crystal Alien Ambassador even sent a personal message to Tony. "We appreciate humanity's eagerness to help in this war. Your scouting missions will surely provide valuable intelligence that our real warships can use." As Earth's small fleet prepared to leave the space station, Admiral Rodriguez gathered his captains for one final meeting. The room was quiet and serious. "Remember, we are officially conducting reconnaissance missions only," he told them. "Nothing more than scouting and information gathering." "Understood, sir," Captain Hayes replied. "Silent running, deep space infiltration, and intelligence gathering operations only." "Of course," Captain Turner added with the kind of smile that sharks might make if sharks could smile. "Just like our old training exercises in the deepest ocean trenches." Dr. Martinez activated her communication link to Earth's main military command. "All units, this is Deep Hunt Control. You are cleared to begin hunting operations." Outside the space station, 6 sleek Earth ships moved away from the bright lights and disappeared into the darkness of deep space. They looked small and weak, compared to the massive alien warships preparing for direct battle. But the aliens did not understand that size and strength meant nothing if your enemy could approach without being seen. They did not know that Earth ships were designed like submarines, built for stealth and surprise attacks rather than obvious displays of power. The Void Hunters controlled large areas of space with their huge, heavily armed ships. They patrolled the space lanes like kings of their territory, confident that their superior firepower made them unbeatable. They had no idea that hunters from Earth's deepest oceans were coming for them. Hunters who had learned patience and stealth from creatures that had perfected the art of the unseen attack over millions of years of evolution. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's understanding of warfare went far deeper than any surface-dwelling species could imagine. The hunt was beginning and the predators were moving into position. The Void Hunter fleet owned the Kepler corridor now. Their massive warships moved through space like metal mountains with guns. Each ship was as big as a small city and covered in thick armor and powerful weapons. They patrolled the space highways, like kings who owned everything they could see. Captain Ben Hayes sat in the dark control room of his ship, the Meridian. His ship was hiding in a field of floating rocks at the edge of Void Hunter territory. The Meridian was painted black and designed to blend into the darkness of space. Next to the enemy's huge ships, it looked tiny and harmless. "Contact at bearing 27 Mark IV, whispered Pete Collins, the man who listened for enemy ships. His voice was so quiet it was almost silent. "Void Hunter heavy cruiser, moving at normal patrol speed." Ben nodded slowly. "How far away?" 12,000 kilometers and getting closer. She is following the main shipping route and has no idea we are here." The control room crew worked without making any noise. Every movement was small and careful. This was not their first hunt, though it was their first time hunting in space instead of under Earth's oceans. But the rules were the same. Be patient, stay hidden, and attack from where the enemy would never expect. "Torpedo room reports ready to fire, Captain," announced Grace Palmer, a young officer. "Not yet," Ben said quietly. "Let her pass by. We are tracking the whole pack, not just one ship." Far across the star system, 5 other Earth ships moved through the darkness like shadows. The Horizon, commanded by Captain Susan Turner, had positioned itself below the main plane where most space traffic moved. No sensible surface dweller would think to look there for enemies. Captain Kyle Warner's ship, the Nautilus, had gone completely dark and was drifting with a group of space debris. To enemy sensors, it looked like just another piece of floating junk. The Void Hunters had good fighting tactics by galactic standards. Their ships moved in organized formations, covering each other and maintaining overwhelming firepower. What they did not understand was warfare in 3 dimensions beyond the obvious up, down, left, and right. "Captain," reported Dan Murphy, the communications officer, "we are getting encrypted messages from Horizon and Nautilus. Both ships report similar contact patterns. The enemy is moving in predictable patrol routes." Ben allowed himself a small smile. Just like surface ships in dangerous waters, they control the high ground and think that makes them safe. The Void Hunters moved through space the way land animals moved across a plain. They could see threats coming from far away and respond with superior firepower. It was a good strategy against other land-based species, but they had never encountered hunters who approached from the deep darkness below. 2 days later, the first Void Hunter vessel simply disappeared. The heavy cruiser named Devourer's Pride had been conducting a routine patrol when it suddenly vanished from all sensors. The ship was there one moment and gone the next. Search and rescue operations found only scattered metal pieces floating in space. No survivors. No explanation. Within the Void Hunter command structure, worry turned to fear as 2 more vessels suffered the same fate over the following week. Ships that had been patrolling known safe routes were found destroyed with no sign of what had attacked them. "The Federation is using new weapons," growled War Chief Krathvar during an emergency meeting. "Our intelligence reports show no major fleet movements, yet our ships are being destroyed. Perhaps the rock aliens have developed some kind of invisibility technology," suggested his advisor. "Impossible. Our sensors would detect their massive ships regardless of visual camouflage. What the Void Hunters could not understand was that they were being hunted by vessels a fraction of their size, using fighting methods their species had never seen. The Earth ships moved through space like submarines through ocean depths, approaching from below, striking with precise torpedo attacks, and vanishing before anyone knew they were there. Captain Turner studied the tactical display aboard the horizon. Her target was a Void Hunter patrol ship following its regular route. Target vessel is maintaining standard patrol pattern, she observed. Estimated crew complement 800. 800, repeated her weapons officer, Carl Rogers. That is more people than our entire task force combined. David and Goliath, Turner replied calmly, referring to an old Earth story about a small fighter defeating a giant. Distance to target? 5,000 kilometers and we have a perfect firing. Solution. Fire Tube 1. The quantum torpedo streaked through space, its energy signature hidden among the natural background radiation until the moment of impact. The Void Hunter battleship's shields, designed to absorb massive energy weapons, offered no protection against the precisely targeted strike that punctured their power core. As the enemy vessel began to break apart and explode, the horizon was already gone, disappearing into the cosmic darkness like a shark vanishing into deep ocean water after a successful hunt. Back at Federation Command, the reports were causing confusion and growing worry. Void Hunter losses were mounting steadily, but no Federation forces were reporting any battles. The alien military commanders could not understand how their enemy was suffering such devastating losses without any record of combat. 17 ships, destroyed in 12 days, reported the Corvallan general to the emergency council meeting. Our long-range sensors show no Federation fleet movements in those areas. This makes no sense, said the Crystal Alien ambassador. How can ships be destroyed without anyone fighting them? The Zephyrian military advisor activated his translation device. We have intercepted Void Hunter communications. They believe they are under attack by invisible Federation forces using unknown technology. Invisible ships? The floating Etherian representative sounded confused. No known technology can make warships completely undetectable. Admiral Rodriguez sat quietly in the human section, listening to the increasingly desperate discussions. Around him, the greatest military minds in the galaxy struggled to understand warfare principles that human children learned from watching nature documentaries about ocean predators. Meanwhile, Captain Warner aboard the Nautilus was preparing for his own attack. His target was a Void Hunter supply convoy protected by 2 escort vessels. Enemy formation consists of 3 ships moving in standard escort pattern, reported his tactical officer. They are following the main supply route to the forward bases. Approach. From below the shipping lane, Warner ordered. Silent running. Minimum power. The Nautilus moved through space like a deep-sea predator, using the gravity of nearby planets to mask its approach. The Void Hunter sensors, designed to detect threats from the sides and above, never noticed the small ship rising from the darkness below. Target the middle ship first, Warner commanded. That will be the supply vessel. Firing solution locked in. Fire. The torpedo struck the supply ship's fuel storage, creating a massive explosion that damaged the 2 escort vessels. Before the survivors could react or call for help, 2 more torpedoes finished the job. 3 more Void Hunter ships had vanished without a trace. Captain Hayes, still hunting in the asteroid field, watched another enemy patrol approach his position. He had been waiting here for 6 hours, patient as any ocean predator. This is their 4th patrol through this area, observed Pete Collins. They are getting nervous, changing their routes. Good, Hayes replied. Fear makes prey animals predictable. The Void Hunter cruiser passed within striking distance. Its sensors focused on scanning for large Federation warships. It never occurred to them to look for something small and dark hiding among the asteroids. Fire tubes 1 and 2. Both torpedoes struck simultaneously, overwhelming the enemy ship's defenses. The explosion lit up the asteroid field for several seconds before fading back to darkness. Contact destroyed, reported Grace Palmer. No survivors detected. Take us deeper into the asteroid field, Hayes ordered. Silent running. Let them wonder where we went. Admiral Rodriguez monitored the situation from his command ship, maintaining communication silence while his captains continued their deadly work. The galaxy was learning that Earth's definition of warfare extended far beyond what land-dwelling species could imagine. The Void Hunters, for all their size and firepower, were being systematically destroyed by an enemy they could not see, could not understand, and could not fight. The hunt had begun in earnest, and the predators of the deep were teaching the galaxy a lesson about the difference between strength and effectiveness. Soon, the entire galactic community would learn that humans had been holding back not out of weakness but out of mercy. The Federation Council called an emergency meeting as scary reports came in from all over space. Void Hunter forces that everyone thought were impossible to beat were losing ships every day with no clear reason why. 23 major vessels destroyed in the past 3 weeks, reported General Thaxmore of the rock-like Corvallan Empire. His deep voice made the meeting room shake. Our long-range sensors detect no Federation fleet movements in those areas. Ambassador Zixthara, the crystal alien leader, flickered with confusion and worry. Our spy networks report no new weapon systems being used. How are these attacks happening? Admiral Rodriguez sat quietly in the human section, listening to the aliens get more and more confused. Around him, the smartest military minds in the galaxy could not understand fighting methods that human children learned from watching fish documentaries. Maybe the Void Hunters are fighting each other, suggested the floating Etherian representative. Sometimes civil wars look like mysterious ship losses. No, replied the robot-like Zephyrian military officer. We have been listening to their communications. They believe invisible Federation forces are attacking them with unknown technology. Dr. Martinez leaned over to Rodriguez. Should we tell them now? Not yet, he whispered back. Let them figure it out on their own first. The breakthrough came when Void Hunter War Chief Krathvar sent a desperate message to Federation Command. He was asking for a temporary stop to the fighting so they could investigate the mysterious attacks. The message included sensor data from the few ships that had survived encounters with the unknown threat. Very interesting, muttered the Corvallan tactical expert as he studied the data on a big screen. The attack patterns suggest vessels much smaller than our standard warships, approaching from impossible directions. Impossible how? Asked Ambassador Zixthara. They are coming from below the orbital plane, moving through areas where gravity should make travel dangerous. No smart commander would put vessels in those positions. Rodriguez felt the familiar satisfaction of a plan working perfectly. May I see that data? All the aliens turned to look at the human admiral with surprise. During the entire crisis, Earth's representatives had stayed quiet. Their small contributions to the war effort had been mostly ignored. Of course, Admiral Rodriguez, Zixthara replied, and everyone could hear that she was trying not to sound condescending. Though I doubt your species' limited military experience will help where our experts are confused. Rodriguez studied the tactical display, noting approach angles and strike patterns with professional appreciation. His captains were performing perfectly, adapting submarine warfare principles to three-dimensional space combat. These are not random attacks, he observed. The pattern suggests coordinated pack-hunting behavior. Pack-hunting? General Thaxmore's confusion was obvious. You mean like your land wolves? More sophisticated than that, Rodriguez replied carefully. This resembles the hunting pattern of Earth's most efficient marine predators. The room became completely silent. Marine predators was not a concept that made sense to species that had evolved on land or in air environments. Dr. Martinez activated her datapad. Perhaps it is time to finish our biology presentation from 3 months ago. Ambassador Zixthara's crystal features brightened with annoyance. Admiral, we hardly have time for academic discussions about your planet's gentle wildlife. Gentle? Martinez smiled coldly. You are absolutely right that we did not show you everything. The holographic display turned on, showing crystal clear footage of Earth's oceans. The assembled aliens watched with growing interest as the presentation moved from colorful coral reefs to the deep blue waters of the open sea. Earth's surface is approximately 71% water, Martinez began. We showed you our land, animals, but we never discussed what lives beneath the waves. The first image that appeared was of a great white shark, 18 feet of perfectly evolved predator cutting through the water with terrifying grace. Its mouth was open, showing rows of razor-sharp teeth designed for tearing flesh. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. Several aliens jumped back in their seats. Others activated personal defense shields. The floating Etherian representative actually teleported to the far side of the chamber. "This creature lives on your world?" gasped General Thaxmore, his voice full of shock. "This is one of the smaller oceanic predators," Martinez replied calmly. "Would you like to see the really impressive ones?" The holographic display now showed footage of tiger sharks, bull sharks, and hammerhead sharks. Each image made the aliens more nervous. Then came the footage of great whites breaching the surface, launching their massive bodies completely out of the water to catch prey. "Impossible," breathed the Zephyrian military officer. "These creatures attack from below where prey cannot see them coming?" "Every human child learns this basic fact," Martinez confirmed. "The most dangerous attacks come from underneath." Rodriguez stood and activated his command authorization. "Federation Command, this is Admiral Rodriguez. All Earth Fleet units, you are cleared to surface and reveal your positions." Across the outer rim, 6 Earth vessels simultaneously dropped their stealth systems and appeared on every sensor array in the sector. The tactical displays in the council chamber lit up with contact signatures that had been present, but invisible, for weeks. "Impossible," whispered the Zephyrian military officer. "They were there the entire time?" "Ladies and gentlemen," Rodriguez announced, "meet the predators of Earth's oceans, and the reason why humanity understands three-dimensional warfare better than any land-dwelling species ever could." The holographic display now showed footage of sharks, barracuda, and killer whales moving through their liquid environment with deadly efficiency. The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as they began to understand what they had completely misjudged. "Your entire species learned warfare from these creatures?" asked Ambassador Zixthera, her voice barely louder than a whisper. "Every human child knows that the most dangerous predators attack from below," Martinez replied. "We have been practicing submarine warfare for over a century." The display showed human submarines moving silently through Earth's oceans, approaching enemy ships from the deep darkness and striking without warning. The parallels to the current space attacks were obvious and terrifying. "You mean to tell us," said General Thaxmore slowly, "that while we were laughing at your land animals, your people were already master practitioners of underwater combat?" "We tried to explain about predator behavior," Rodriguez said diplomatically. "You were not interested in learning about hunting patterns." The crystal alien ambassador stood up slowly, her entire body dim with shame. "The Federation owes humanity a profound apology. We severely underestimated your capabilities." "More than that," added the Corvallan general. "We completely failed to understand the nature of your world. A planet that is mostly water would naturally produce species adapted to three-dimensional combat." Dr. Martinez continued the presentation, showing footage of various shark species demonstrating hunting techniques that human naval strategists had studied and adapted for centuries. "A great white shark can approach its target from the deep darkness below, using perfect camouflage and silent movement," she explained. "The prey animal never knows death is approaching until it is too late. And human military doctrine is based on these principles?" asked the Etherian representative, her musical voice filled with new respect. "We had the best teachers in the galaxy," Martinez replied. "Creatures that perfected stealth hunting over millions of years of evolution." Captain Ben Hayes had been invited to brief the council on operational details. His quiet manner and precise answers impressed military leaders who had previously dismissed Earth's naval capabilities. "The key principle," Hayes explained, "is understanding that real three-dimensional warfare is not just about moving in all directions. It is about using the environment itself as camouflage while approaching from angles your enemy considers impossible." "And this knowledge is common among your military people?" General Thaxmore asked. "Every human grows up knowing that sharks attack from below," Hayes replied simply. "It is basic education about nature." The Zephyrian military officer activated his translation unit. Your entire fighting strategy is based on copying marine predators? Not copying, Rodriguez corrected. Learning. We share the same planet with creatures that perfected stealth hunting over millions of years. We learned from the best teachers in the universe. As the session ended, Admiral Rodriguez received a priority message from Earth Command. The communication was brief but important. Earth's trial membership in the Federation had been officially upgraded to full membership, with immediate assignment to the Defense Council. It seems, Ambassador Zixathera observed with newfound respect, that we owe your oceanic wildlife an apology as well. Dr. Martinez laughed, remembering the earlier mockery of Earth's land animals. Perhaps next time we should start with the ocean footage. There will be a next time? Asked General Thaxmore, and everyone could hear worry in his voice. Oh yes, Martinez replied with a smile that would have made any shark proud. We have only shown you our shallow water species. The deep ocean contains creatures that make great whites look like pet fish. After the big revelation about Earth's ocean predators, everything changed quickly. The Void Hunter War ended not with a huge final battle, but with a message of surrender. War Chief Krathvar sent a formal request to stop fighting rather than face more attacks from what his people now called the shark fleets. The Federation Council chamber buzzed with excited activity as military leaders from across the galaxy studied recordings of Earth's submarine warfare methods. What they had once dismissed as primitive technology was now seen as the most advanced three-dimensional fighting system any species had developed. Admiral Rodriguez stood at the main speaking platform, no longer sitting in the small section reserved for minor species. He was now addressing the Council as an equal member. The Void Hunter threat has been completely eliminated, he reported to the assembled aliens. Our forces conducted precision strikes against their military targets while keeping civilian casualties to a minimum. Their surrender has been accepted, and their war crimes will be investigated. General Thaxmore of the huge rock-like Corvallan Empire leaned forward in his massive chair. Admiral, your battle reports show that 6 human vessels neutralized a fleet of over 40 Void Hunter warships. How is this mathematically possible? Patience, stealth, and understanding our operational environment, Rodriguez replied calmly. On Earth, we learned long ago that size and firepower mean nothing if your enemy can approach without being detected. The crystal alien ambassador Zixathera had completely changed her attitude toward humans. Her condescending tone was gone, replaced with genuine respect and a hint of fear. The Federation owes humanity a sincere apology, she said formally. We severely underestimated your capabilities and treated you with disrespect based on incomplete information. Dr. Martinez joined Rodriguez at the platform, carrying her datapad with video files that had already revolutionized galactic military thinking. Military academies across the galaxy were now requesting copies of her ocean predator research. Our oceanic predators taught us that the most effective hunt begins long before the prey realizes it is being tracked, she explained to the fascinated audience. A great white shark can approach its target from the deep darkness below, using perfect camouflage and silent movement patterns. The holographic display showed footage of various shark species demonstrating hunting techniques that human naval strategists had studied and adapted for centuries. The aliens watched with the kind of attention usually reserved for religious ceremonies. Your species developed these tactics independently of galactic influence? Asked the floating Etherian representative, her wind chime voice filled with awe. We had excellent teachers, Martinez smiled. Every child on Earth grows up learning about apex predators that can appear from nowhere, strike with devastating precision, and disappear before their presence is detected. Captain Ben Hayes had been invited to give detailed briefings to the Council about operational specifics. His quiet manner and precise answers impressed military leaders who had previously treated Earth's naval capabilities as a joke. The key principle, Hayes explained to a room full of the galaxy's top military minds, is understanding that true three-dimensional warfare is not just about moving in all directions. It is about using the environment itself as camouflage while approaching from vectors your enemy considers impossible or impractical. And this knowledge is standard among your military personnel? General Thaxmore asked with obvious respect. Every human grows up knowing that sharks attack from below, Hayes replied matter-of-factly. It is basic nature education that we receive as children. The robot-like Zephyrian military advisor activated his translation unit with obvious excitement. Your entire strategic doctrine is based on studying predatory marine life forms? Not studying, Rodriguez corrected gently but firmly. Understanding. We share the same planet with creatures that perfected stealth hunting over millions of years of evolution. We learned from the most experienced teachers in the galaxy. As the main session concluded, Admiral Rodriguez received a priority communication from Earth Command. The message was brief but carried enormous significance. Earth's probationary status in the Federation had been officially upgraded to full membership, with immediate assignment to the prestigious Defense Council. It seems, Ambassador Zixthera observed with newfound humility, that we also owe your oceanic wildlife a debt of gratitude. Dr. Martinez laughed, remembering the earlier mockery of Earth's gentle land animals. Perhaps next time we should start our presentations with the ocean footage instead of saving it for last. There will be a next time? Asked General Thaxmore, and everyone in the room could hear genuine concern in his voice. Oh yes, Martinez replied with a predatory smile. That would have made any great white shark proud. We have only shown you our shallow water species so far. The deep ocean contains creatures that make great whites look like harmless pet fish. The assembled delegates exchanged nervous glances, suddenly very grateful that humanity had chosen to share their knowledge rather than keep it secret. The idea of what might live in Earth's deepest waters was both fascinating and terrifying. In the weeks that followed, Federation military academies began implementing entirely new courses in three-dimensional combat theory. Earth's naval officers found themselves in extremely high demand as tactical consultants and strategy advisors. Young alien officers who had once looked down on humans now competed for the chance to study under Earth instructors. Captain Susan Turner was assigned to teach advanced stealth tactics at the Corvallan War College. Her first lesson began with a simple question. How many of you have ever been hunted by something you could not see? Captain Kyle Warner became the chief advisor to the Zephyrian Defense Ministry, helping them redesign their entire fleet doctrine to account for three-dimensional warfare principles. Captain Ben Hayes was offered the position of Director of Advanced Tactics at the Federation Naval Academy, the highest honor any alien military organization had ever offered to a human. The small blue planet, that had once been ridiculed for its gentle wildlife, had become the galaxy's premier authority on predator-inspired warfare. Military leaders from across known space made pilgrimages to Earth to study in the oceans, where humanity had learned its most valuable lessons. The Void Hunters, now confined to a small group of planets under Federation oversight, told frightening stories to their children about the terrible day they learned that Earth's oceans contained nightmares disguised as fish. Their warnings would be passed down for generations. Never underestimate a species that learned to hunt from creatures that perfected killing over millions of years. But the most significant change was in how the galaxy viewed humanity itself. No longer were humans seen as weak, gentle beings from a peaceful world. Instead, they were recognized as the descendants of survivors who had shared their planet with the most efficient predators nature had ever created. Trade agreements with Earth became highly sought after. Diplomatic relations that had once been condescending became respectful partnerships. Other species that had previously ignored human contributions to science and culture suddenly wanted to learn everything they could about the planet that produced such effective warriors. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of his flagship, watching stars wheel slowly past the viewport. Somewhere in the darkness beyond, his former captains continued their patrols, protecting Federation space with techniques learned from the most efficient predators Earth had ever produced. The galaxy had finally learned to respect the supposedly gentle planet whose children grew up swimming with sharks, and in the deep places where starlight never reached, Earth's greatest teachers continued their eternal hunt, unaware that their lessons had saved galactic civilization itself. Dr. Martinez often reflected on the irony of the situation. The aliens, had laughed at lions and tigers, dismissing them as harmless compared to the monsters on their own worlds. They had no idea that Earth's most dangerous predators had never lived on land at all. Earth's secret was finally revealed. They had never been the harmless species everyone assumed. They had simply been patient, waiting for the right moment to show that when you evolve alongside apex predators, you either learn to think like them or become their prey. The galaxy would never make the mistake of underestimating Earth's wildlife again. And somewhere in Earth's deepest oceans, ancient predators continued their endless hunt, unknowing teachers who had shaped the destiny of the stars themselves.